Hello, I'm Vanessa with R.E.A Staffing, and with me today is Emmanuel Xuereb. And he is a real estate agent in Beverly Hills, and we're helping him find a real estate operations administrator, aka licensed real estate assistant. So I wanted to grab him for a couple of minutes and give him a chance to talk about who he is, a little bit about the business, and give you an idea of what a day in the life of a real estate assistant in Beverly Hills might be like. So with no further ado, let's get into the interview.
Thank you so
Hello,
much.
Emmanuel.
Hey
So
there,
good
how
to
are
see
you?
you.
Same here. Thank you. It's a pleasure. I think this is a fantastic idea to be, on video and having an interview like this. That way everyone gets to know a little bit ahead of time who's who in the zoo. Really great, especially with where things are going technologically and all that kind of stuff, which we are very, very much about. We do like to be on the cutting edge of technology, of doing fun things, video, um, photos. Our marketing is really, really top notch, like Vogue, architectural distress all around. I do want to pinpoint that we're not just Beverly Hills. We actually not primarily, but we do have a focus on the Hollywood Hills, which is right next to Beverly Hills, the greater Los Angeles area, but with a focus on the Hollywood Hills, West Hollywood, which obviously spills into Beverly Hills, all the way to Santa Monica and Venice. So, you always keep a surfboard in the car just in case we ever showing up in Venice and Santa Monica or Malibu. So,
Perfect. So how did you get into real estate? What was it about real estate that caught your attention?
Well, I just love the diversity of real estate. I think that for people who are multi-talented, I think it's a really great opportunity to be able to tap into all that. I mean, you do have to really be multi-talented. You have to be good at a lot of different things, and ideally great at a lot of different things. From the intellectual side, because it is a numbers game. There's numbers involved. Real estate is a lot about numbers. Same with loans and analytics, all that kind of stuff. But there's a big creative side to it, which is wonderful. The marketing is very creative. The architecture, the buildings, and then people. I mean, we deal with people all the time. Wonderful people. We happen to be in a really great area, the Hollywood Hills, West Hollywood, even Beverly Hills and all that. Just very interesting, creative, intellectual, but creative. We also work a lot with Silver Lake and Los Feliz, which are really, and Beecher Canyon, wonderful, cool areas. So that really bring very interesting, great people, and that's another great thing. So being a people person is a really great asset as well. Not necessarily in every single job of real estate. I mean, if you are just specific on one part of real estate, let's say it's just marketing or just the administrative side, there's a bit less of that, but it's still very important. And perhaps you're a little bit more focused and less jack of all trades when you get into perhaps specializing in that and perhaps growing and being great at that. So it is both for me as an agent and the leader of a team, being multi-talented and then so on and so forth down the line. So it really just depends. But what brought me into it is that that I could use all of my different talents, sort of, the adage, jack of all trade kind of a thing. There is a bit of that, which in real estate is actually an asset, because usually people say that and it's almost derogatory, but in this case, it is an asset.
So tell me a little bit more about your company, the structure of it. Do you have a partner? Tell me more.
Absolutely. So my brother, who happens to be my twin brother, so let me introduce him. Hold on a second. Salvatore And this is Salvatore. He's literally my twin brother. You're never going to know who's who, which is kind of part of what we try to do. So that way you never know who's really going to the apartments and so on. So my brother Salvatore and I are partners in this. I'm really the head person because I've been doing it for so long and have such a huge amount of experience in a good way. I'm not trying to show off in that, but we've been doing it about 13. Used to do it in New York City also. So let's say 15 to 20 years on it. And Salvatore and I are the head of the team. We, work together as partners, and then we'll have, assistants. We have, people in the marketing, and we're in the process. We've had agents in the past, but that's also where we're going, is having other agents on the team as well. We give each other different responsibilities, and we're looking really for, and perhaps I'm already jumping the gun on the next question, but a support team, from assistants to executive assistants to director of operations, operation director, to as well as agents that might be a buyer's agent or somewhat kind of a rover agent, and eventually growing into being full-on agents and being part of it. So
okay, so let's talk about this role specifically. So this is such a cool opportunity because we have two partners here who really need some strong administrative support, but you have some flexibility in kind of who they are and where they're coming from, and there's opportunity for growth if that's what they want. That's what I'm hearing. So right now, with what you need, what would a typical day in the life be like for somebody coming to join you? And obviously in real estate, there's no typical day, but let's just pretend for a moment that there is.
Definitely everyone working on this side and in our business and in our city, Los Angeles. It's not like a smaller city or town. Has to be very quick thinking, be able to, I mean, this sounds like like a stereotype, but be able to handle many different things at the same time and be able to prioritize the most important ones within a bunch of important ones, and be able to accomplish them as quickly as possible, as well as possible, as perfectly as possible. But we're not looking for perfection all the time. Some things need more perfections than others, but it's starting the day with a structure, and then of course things change every day, which is really one of the beauties of real estate, is that things do change, and it's very exciting, and you don't feel like you're working, which is a good thing, because time does fly by. And I don't mean like you're losing time. I mean, it's very fulfilling and exciting, and you're not looking at the watch go by. So from scheduling appointments to doing research for listings, to doing comparative analysis, comp checks, to actually showing when needed, to prepare open houses, to do the marketing. Marketing would be from organizing the photographers to the photos to doing Instagram, all that part of the marketing. And then, of course, keeping up with the database and the CRMs, is making sure we're talking to our previous clients and organizing that well. So, which brings me to the tech side of it, is actually a very important part of anyone working at it, because we're becoming such a tech heavy and centric business. And being with Compass, which I failed to mention, we're with Compass, which is one of the best companies, if not the best company in the country. We've grown from 7, 8 years ago, just starting, to becoming a publicly traded company this past year, to being one of the best, and definitely the biggest independent company in the country. And with the idea, because it's new, that we are tech centric. They have, I think, close to 1,000 tech people working on the Compass website to make life easier for us. So you do have to be on top of learning the new systems, the new tools and technology, because they do, every minute that you spend learning it, you're saving, 60 minutes or, days in the long run. So it is obviously very important for the people that are the support staff to be on top of that, to enjoy it, to really enjoy learning it and wanting more of that stuff, and then disseminating to us or the other people as well. So you know, so going back to it, there will be a bit of everything, which includes showings and doing open houses and scheduling and rescheduling things, and writing emails, responding to emails and texts, and calling clients and talking to clients, and problem management, because essentially escrows are a series of problems until we close, even in the best case scenario. So not being scared of problems, not being scared of picking up the phone, not being scared of confronting what seems like scary things, because all the problems, any problems, can be resolved. There is no problem that cannot be resolved. So, and then of course having fun, having
Love it.
some
Of course,
fun,
having fun. Got
having
to enjoy the
fun,
process.
joking, enjoying the process. We do like to have fun. We do like fun banter. We do know also when things are very serious and you have to get serious. I kind of equate it to like if you've ever worked at a restaurant where, before the rush, nothing is going on, and then suddenly, the restaurant is full. There's a million different things, and everyone works like this amazingly well-oiled machine. Chaos, you can't even imagine how it happens, and it works, but everyone's exuberant and elated about having done and made some great accomplishments and made money as well.
Right. So you've touched on some of the qualities and traits that are essential, but is there anything else that's specific to working with you and your brother that, skills, qualities, traits, experience that are really important for this position?
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, definitely humor, positive. You have to be happy and a positive person. I don't mean like exuberant and over. I mean, you do have to be a positive person. We like positive energy, good people, sincere and honest people. I don't mean what you might think is honest. I'm talking about deep inside your soul, honest people, good people, because we take care of our clients as if they're family. They come first without a question. That's not just a log, like a line. Even by yourself in the darkest room, you have to be doing the right thing for our clients, and very high integrity. So those things are really, really, actually, those really make the basis for everything. Like I said earlier, you have to be able to process things quickly, because things do happen quickly. Of course, mistakes will happen. That's just part of the game. It's a great way of learning things, but those mistakes can't just continue happening. That's just not possible in this business. What we're looking for, the kind of clientele that we have, you can imagine we're in the Hollywood Hills, the kind of people that we have, very sophisticated, very successful, from all walks of life, but obviously with a concentration in the entertainment industry, and which is fun. They are great people, but you do have to be on point and know the difference, and you cannot be making mistakes. You can't be switching things around, numbers around, all the time. And that will happen because we have a lot of numbers, but things like that, you can't be continually making the same mistakes. You can't make mistakes and not own up to it and apologize for it, and move on and take care of the situation. You definitely have to have some strength. We're not looking for the perfect person, because there is grooming involved here. We enjoy grooming people to get to higher and higher levels, but we do expect a talent. There has to be talent there, as well as education and experience. But probably the most important is talent, because we do believe a lot in talent.
Perfect. So let's talk about those growth opportunities. So you mentioned that you're thinking that maybe there's opportunity for other agents on the team. How do you see this position evolving over time as the company grows?
Well, it could become where it's much more of a, management, heading of let's say divisions within it, training other people or other agents and or teams of agents eventually. Um, and of course, as people are moving along, you start to get a better sense of their natural talents and or passions. So perhaps it might lead into the marketing aspects, whether that's social media or marketing in general, and then perhaps doing more training on that, so that boom, you become head of the marketing part, which is actually a very important part, especially for us because it's very important. But that could be its own kind of division, its own thing that is held by someone who is, the marketing director, kind of a thing, and or the training teams and managing the teams so that we don't have to do that. There's plenty of growth. I mean, we have a lot of business, and there's many different ways it can go. And we're very loyal. We definitely looking for people for longevity. Of course, things happen and people move on or this, that, the, but there is room for longevity. Like I said, we've been doing this in LA for about 13 years, and it's not, there'll be another, hopefully 40 or 50 years or longer. So there's a lot of room for
Fantastic.
growth.
Well, that's one of the great things about working with a small entrepreneurial minded company is you really can create a role that fits you and that fits the company. There isn't necessarily a prescribed ladder to climb. You get to create your own ladder, which is one of the things I personally love about helping people find these types of roles, because there's so much growth. So thank you so much, Emmanuel. I think this was a really great snapshot about you, the company, and the role. If this sounds like the kind of position that you would be perfect for, check out the link in the description below for the full job description and apply. We cannot wait to hear from you. And if this isn't the right job, you want to go to jobs.proreastaffing.com to check out all of our open positions. We fill roles like this all across the US, so go ahead and check that out. And hey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. This channel is all about fostering careers in real estate and growing real estate teams, and it's filled with great content to help you do just that. So check it out. Cheers.